we're just going to finish out these things, zero out negatives, print max, min, and average, which I'm actually going to, well, I'll just do it. Shift array values left, and then swap for negative values, so swap the string. All right, so let's just cruise through those. So zero out negative values in the array. So that's very similar to this return count greater than y. In fact, it's so similar, I'm just going to copy it. So, all right, so we're going to go through an array again, and we're going to do a comparison again. And what we want to do is we want to say, hey, if that element is actually less than -1 or less than 0, then we want to set that element to 0. So I guess we're going to have to do it slightly different. Sorry. So it's for Python. So for x in range array, so that's going to go len array, sorry. It's going to go all the way through our array. And so x is going to be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, regardless of what array is. So it's going to go as long as the array is and no longer. All right, so if array bracket x, so we're going to go and try to test those things. So we're going to look at the values in there, is less than 0, then we're going to say array bracket x is equal to 0. All right, so basically what we're saying is we're replacing it. All right, so then we just return array. All right, so let me go through that one more time. So we're going to say for x in range len array. So whatever the length of this array is, range says, well, let's just change this to an x range. It starts at 0, goes up to, but not including the length of the array. So if the array's length is 4, it would go 0, 1, 2, 3. If the length of the array was 50, it would go 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, all the way up to 49. All right, which would be 50 elements, right? It'd be 0, because that's one of the elements, the 0th index, all the way through the 49th index. All right, and then it basically says, for each one of those elements in the array, at position 0 through, for example, 49, if it's less than 0, then we're just going to replace that value with 0. So let's do that. So print return count greater than, oops, we'll call it greater than 0, just for, and we want to pass an array. Let's just pass it -11, 3, -12. So we should get 0, 3, 0 out of this. All right, so there's 0, 3, 0. Awesome. All right. Cool. So that's 0 out negatives. All right, min, max, and average. All right, def min, max, average. And we're going to take an array. And we can set those things, right? So we can set min, we can set max. Min equals array. And Python just has pre-built ones. Cool. All right, done with that. So let's just show it. So again, min, max, average. And we could have to do the float thing if we wanted to, of 1 through 4. All right, so we should get min of 1, max of 4, sum of whatever, 8 divided by 3, so 2. There we go. Cool. Again, you could have iterated through all that stuff. I'm kind of throwing in a few pre-built functions of Python just to do it more quickly. But your goal is to be able to write those pre-built Python functions. So at this point, you should be able to refer back up to max to get how to do this. We've already figured out how to sum things using a for loop. You should be able to do that, and then figure out the length of the array. You can just you can actually use len array. You don't have to figure that out yourself. All right, so that's that part. Excellent. Shift them left. We're going to again use a Python strategy. Shift left, and we're going to take an array. And basically what the goal of this initial assignment was basically say, hey, for every element in the array, basically hold on to the array, maybe go through it backwards and push everything to the left. But we're going to do it slightly differently. Array equals array bracket 1 colon. So basically it starts at the first element and goes all the way to the end. So 1 colon, so first element inclusive, colon, and then if you leave this blank, then it's going to go all the way to the end, and then array.append 0. All right, so let's see that. Oh, we want to return the array after this. All right, so shift left. And we could have done that even better. I think there's an actual shift function. Most languages have a shift function in them that will just shift it for you and not append this extra 0 on. But so 1, 3, 4 again. Or sure, 1, 2, 3. So hopefully we got 2, 3, 0 at the end of this. We have to print it. So we returned it, but remember, this value becomes that 2, 3, 0 array. So we want to print it. All right, so there it is, 2, 3, 0. Cool. And swap string for negative values. All right, well, we know how to find negative values, and we know how to replace them with zeros. Fantastic. We can push in string here and say instead of turning it into a 0, turn that into a 0. And we should be good. But now we have 2 parameters, so we have to pass it 2 arguments. So let's go back and grab our greater than. So what are we going to call this thing? We're going to call this thing swap string. And I'll just type something in. All right, swap string. And let's go for -3, 11. All right, and we're going to pass it in. Yay! All right, and we're returning it. So again, this return value exists briefly, and if we don't set something to it or do something with it, it gets garbage collected. So we can set something equal to it, Mikey equals that thing, and then we have this thing for as long as our program's running until we basically clear it. Meaning, in our program, what I mean by that is this module here, everything that's on this page. After this point, we would be able to use Mikey as a global variable. So we can print Mikey at this point. And yay, 11, because we passed it a negative number and 11. All right, awesome. So as I said, I just want to go through those fairly quickly. So things I really wanted to emphasize for those of you who are kind of new to Python, play around with some of the pre-built functions. There's a lot of them. List comprehension is super cool. We're going to get into lambdas and some other fun stuff, but you guys are really going to want to know how to do a lot of these things and be able to do them kind of second nature. And if you can't do them second nature, practice until you can. Whether or not you do it exactly the same way every time, that's up to you. I like to mix things up and try different things, and I think that's a super valuable skill. And that's what I would encourage you to do. But don't be afraid if something goes wrong and be like, oh, that didn't work the way I wanted it to. Just go fix it. It's not a big deal. It's not going to hurt your computer if you're like, oh, dang it, things didn't work. Just keep going. And try to figure out what went wrong and fix it. And if you can't fix it, then feel free to ask for help. But it is important for you guys to figure out and understand how to do these things, how they work, and even though I did use pre-built stuff like here, the reason I did that is I know how to do all these things. If you don't know how to do them by hand, or this one, for example, as well, then you should write it out by hand. All right, cool. Pep talk over.